Thanks for staying with us. So there's another interesting topic that came our way. We thought it was important to also discuss it. A report we read says, hardly do you ever hear stories of fathers-in-law and husbands fighting. All we usually hear are mother-in-laws and wives fighting. Why is this so? And we say that men are able to handle issues more maturely than women. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081 again, 270-53687, 091-3970-7694 each. You can also tweet to us on Twitter, send us messages on YouTube and Facebook. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Okay, so this was interesting because I know of a family where the father-in-law never liked the guy. And the father just made a decision never to go to the couple's house.
Simple.
He just didn't show up. So for the naming ceremony, he sends funds, although the husband was rejected, you know, there was that tension. But he never went to the children's house.
Simple.
But whenever they needed anything, of course, he was there. So what we see a mother-in-law who doesn't like a wife still go. Because, hey, it's her son's, it's her son's house.
It's our house.
So is there a way that we can do this kind of, is it that men are better in this area than women? Or do we have better emotional, should women have better emotional intelligence in this kind of situation? Just stay in your house if you don't like your wife, your husband's wife, your son's wife.
Who will not take care of your daughter or your son then? And your grandchildren. You will not see your grandchildren. They're not born the person. So I think for me, men are, because they know how to compartmentalize, it's easy for them to stonewall. So they are not interested in this. They will not bother to major in the minor. They will just remove their face and move on. It's easy for them. It's easy for a man to stay 2 years, 3 years, 4 years without seeing the children. We just call on the phone and they're fine. It's easy for them to move. But women are wired differently. Women are in their emotions most of the time. They want to be around you. So even if I don't like you and you carried your stubborn head to say, this is the man I want to marry, I will still see my grandchildren. I will still come around. You can't take me away from my offspring. It's not possible, you know. So they find a way to infuse. The only appeal I would have for them is when you are infuse with sense. You know, insert yourself with sense. Understand that this is not my house. I'm a visitor here. And then give them room. So I'm here for just a few days. I want to take care of my grandchildren, or maybe my daughter just gives birth and I want to nurse her and all of that. And mind yourself. Know your space. But when you now insert and you want to take over the whole place, that's where the problem
Well, a woman, so I want you to talk to a woman right now whose father and her husband are not at loggerheads. They're not friends. There's friction right now. And she knows that they need each other. They know that the father, the brother, the husband might need some of the connections from the father. The father also needs to have a relationship with the son-in-law maybe because of the children or something. You know, she really wants that, you know, amicable solution to the problem. How should she go about it, Sokwe?
So I think that it is the responsibility. I know that when it comes to men, there is ego, as in the ego in that 30-something-year-old man is as equal as the ego in that 70-something-year-old man. It is equal. It's the same ego. Yeah. God has given men. That is what makes them men. And that usually is the cause of friction if you don't have a good rapport. And my appeal would always be for the woman to prey on the emotional attachment she has with her husband. Because I always believe that when you get married, your loyalty should be with your husband. Yeah, you love your parents, but this is my family. Like we're starting a new family. So I love my parents, but I want that attachment. So you must appeal more to your husband to mellow. Yeah, to step it down a bit, to enjoy the opportunities. They say you stoop to conquer. So the woman too might need to stoop to conquer in building the relationship with her husband to the point where the husband will see the merits of a blessing from the father. I mean, father-in-law in this case. It is a journey. It would involve, because sometimes the father-in-law actually is the one that has plenty problems. Yeah. So it might be that the reason the man is pulling back is for his own sanity, but he might have connections and problems. So you understand that your Yoruba said, because I want to eat cow meat, I'm going to call the cow brother so that I can get the cow meat. It's that relationship that must ensue.
Let me come to you in this situation. I mean, aside from the seeing from the perspective of the young lady, but how come men somewhat seem to have an easier, it's easier for men who don't like their sons-in-law to just move on, to look away. But mothers find it difficult.
Yes, but that does not also make it a better way to handle conflict.
True.
So, and I think that's why God just made it so beautiful. You have men and their peculiarities, and you have women, you know, to complement each other. Because if we were to leave it to men, many of us would not talk to, you know, to each other. You know, families, you have, there will be a long line of people who don't speak to each other. But mothers find a way of inserting themselves. It can be annoying sometimes, but in the long run or in hindsight, like, even though for her stubbornness and her annoyance, you know, we would not be speaking. So it is okay for, and then I want people to understand that sometimes there are tough times, and it's okay to have that. It's a journey. This life is such a journey. There are some people that will tell you, when I got married, my father and my husband could not stand each other, and down the line, they are best of friends. They don't even call her when they need to see each other. They find a way to hang out with each other. So allow people to have that journey. Allow people to get to know each other. What you can do is just always be like a, you know, like the neutral person where they can both come to you and vent or rant about everything. When you are with your dad, you only talk about the best things that your husband does for you. If you're with your husband, you only talk about the great things or the nice things he says about your husband. Even if he has not said anything nice, you find a way of twisting it. Like, oh, he said that. Like, oh, yes. Whenever you're not there, he says these amazing things about, like, oh, really? So those are the sort of things that you can do to work on.
But you see,
the women, what mothers or women or wives do is to make sure that you see that silent period, that because you get used to that silence or not seeing someone, and then you forget. They don't allow you have that period. How can you not talk to your son? That is the father of your child. What if he refuses from seeing your grandchildren? You know, so they are just there in between until
there's a story
mend a relationship.
I know of. I'm going to try to do the story in a way that the person doesn't know talking about this. You know, there's a father. He's a jai guy. He's always out there. He's out there and everything. So he knows there's this guy that he knows in the clubs, you know, that he can finish a whole bottle of Hennessy in like one sitting, you know, and he dances with all these people. And you know, he knows the guy, but he looks at the guy in the arm's length. Months down the line or year down the line, your daughter brings this man to be your wife, to be your son-in-law. And you met the guy, and you're thinking to myself, I know you. You cannot marry my daughter. What?
God catch you.
Because you've seen this guy in his real element.
Yeah.
He's not the nice, clean boy that came, that the boy, I know you. You know, so because of that, you try to make your daughter understand you can't marry this guy. But obviously she's in love. She has love this guy. And then the mother gets involved. She insists that allow the girl to marry who she wants now. You know, and there's this major friction. But you don't want madam to also know that way. We meet. This is where we used to meet because. So yeah. So but the boy knows what. So you have the conversation with the guy.
Talk now, so we can just talk everything.
So the father called this. And this is a real life story. This is not just. The father calls the guy to one-on-one, like man-to-man conversation. Hey, leave this girl alone. And the guy is like, no.
Hey. I like her. I want to marry her.
Right. So in that kind of situation, look at you. I know the what happened at the end of the day, but so if your daughter insists on marrying that kind of person, what happens?
Your adult daughter.
Yes.
And then you have the conversation. You must be open to her to an extent that this is what you have seen. But you know, the thing about life is that we only see one side of someone. We have seen, we have seen some people who are horrible at work. But you don't know that they are great fathers, great mothers, great sisters. And like, how is this same person, you know? So the father has seen him outside when he was, at his worst. But he has not seen him at his best. And maybe that's what his daughter has seen.
I think you just answered that question beautifully because I know the person. And I know the person is such a fabulous. When I say this person, I know he's a fantastic human being, the softest heart.
Yes.
So if the father had given that thing a chance, they would have probably had a very happy marriage.
So he didn't give it a chance.
Yeah, he killed the light.
But I think that sometimes there are two sides to it. This side and the other side of, I wouldn't, if the girl insisted on that marriage, the man shouldn't step back, which is what men would do. You have disobeyed me. I'm going to leave you alone.
I'm not informed.
You have already, whatever you see, you see. You've decided to go ahead with this thing. No, she's your child. So you as a father must sit there and be watching and be guiding and be putting your word in to ensure that they don't bring back your child in a coffin or batter the child away. So because sometimes we as children need to make our own mistakes by ourselves. And we might hear from our parents saying, don't do this. And we're like, I want to do it. Don't touch it. You see that child. Though it is hot, he will go and touch it himself to be sure. And that's the way children are. Even when the children are 30-something-year-old, they will still want to touch it. So I think if fathers tend to sit back and say, I have X'd you, you are no longer my child, I have deleted you from my heart, and they just block you off. A lot of men do that, and it's not right. It helps them, but they should connect with those children, call your grandchildren, check on them, even if you don't like your daughter-in-law or
and
your son-in-law.
And even be a help to the son-in-law, you know, be his friend, be closer, be buddies. You know,
and help him become a better father, a better husband to your...
Let me take this call from Pastor Elijah. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
And Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year to you, too.
I was trying to contribute to the life.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. It's your view. Let it count.
But, yeah, I was trying to contribute to the last issue you discussed, but I couldn't connect there. But straight to this one. For a fact, women are too sentimentally emotional to their children.
Yes, sir.
Even when they're supposed to keep distance a bit to let them reason and develop themselves. It is always a difficult thing for two people coming together at the right age to get along without issues. I have a father-in-law and a mother-in-law. I also have a mother of well over 80 years who sometimes wanted me to do things the way she sees it. But in my own wisdom, I will have to say, no, Mom. It's not an attempt to disobey you. Let me handle this. If I need you to intervene, I will let you know. Because most cases, they will be biased in taking sides. And this will further create problems in the family. So, in the best overall interest of all, a man and a woman who agree to come together as a family should know they have their parents somewhere. But in most cases, they should work things out on their own, so that it will not further complicate whatever issue.
Absolutely, Dr.
Yeah, so I do not believe that the man should step back. I believe that the man should come clean to the daughter. So you have to weigh things. How dirty is this dirty that I know? There are some dirty that are very dirty that the ear cannot hear. But if it's the mild dirty, maybe go out to do a couple of drinks or have a couple of girls, you know. Well, I will understand, okay, as a man too, I have a wife, but we still But no, but you know, bro code now, they call it bro code, they know each other. But if it's that the other dirty that goes the other way, you just come clean to your daughter to say, you can even confess your own sins, you know, to give protect your child. To give leverage that I understand what I'm talking about. I'm not just saying it because I don't like this person. I don't know what you have seen, but this is the other side of this person. Now, if tomorrow this love, these butterflies fade, can you survive knowing this other side? So the girl has to, you know, make a choice at the end of the day that, okay, maybe it's something I can deal with or not. But it would be unfair that you don't let her know exactly why you are rejecting this person. Say that. They never say it. You don't let her know exactly.
Let me take this call from America. Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm a first time.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Well, based on the discussion you guys are discussing, the reason why men don't usually have that blow, men could bottle up their minds or whatever the case may be. You see, the men, it's not like a man forgets his daughter even when he's married. It's just that sometimes we men will have this patience to allow people to do what they want to do. I take a good example from my dad. My dad will always allow you. He really want to allow you to make that mistake. And then when you make that mistake, it's easier for men to easily forgive and then bring you back. But for the women like Ethiopia or something like that, women are wired differently. They have their emotional problems and they have their biological problems. So when you combine these two problems together, that means you have a confused problem. And so that's just my own system. But men have that patience, so they can actually go with things.
Yeah. Thank you, Ifeanyi. I didn't get it very clearly.
May I quickly finish what I wanted to say? So I noticed that, especially in our parents' generation, they don't like their children to see the mistakes that they've made or see their flaws. So you won't want to come clean because you don't want your daughter to see you in a certain light. You always want to be this perfect father. Yes, and that's why you don't come clean. But I think our generation is becoming a bit better. We share more of what we have done. So it will be, for this newer generation, it will be easy to tell your child that, see, oh, I have this problem. Okay. And this is where I meet this person.
Can I just... What if it's the other way around? What if it's a son that has brought home a girl that Papa used to see on the side as a zaddy? Let's talk about it.
So we cannot both enter the same place. But then she cannot say it.
And you can't say it. And the man cannot say it. No, somebody has to say it. Somebody has to say it.
Serious Mara. Because no, but you don't want to hurt your son. You know? Again, Hassan, I've been there.
You have to hurt the son for his own good. The greater good now.
No, but the son is head over heels.
He's on heel. Let me tell you the worst thing that makes, I'm telling you. The fastest way to on head over heel a guy is to say that I've entered that place. They lose it. That's all.
Let me take this call from the UK. Good morning. Are you there? That's not true.
I'm telling you.
Good morning. Are you there? Hello?
Some people that love is blind.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
My first time of calling, but it is the first time to pick up the call.
Okay.
In fact, it's not about this present discussion you are having. It's about the old one, about is it Japan you call it?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very clearly. Go ahead.
Right. I think there is a proverb in Yoruba which says, you will have a lot of people who are in Nigeria who have success stories, and also you will have a lot of people who are in England who also have success stories. I think the most important thing is to have a very good and enabling environment wherever you are. If you have that enabling environment, I think you will be able to work your way around. In UK, yes, it is tough. In America, it is tough, but you have a system whereby if you work hard, you will get the reward.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Dele.
You said what is facing someone in front. Like, he's facing you, he's backing somebody else. So
what will work for you may not work for someone else.
Different areas.
So this matter where you know that you're a father, you've been in town, and you used to be one of those that carry girls, right? And one of the girls that you carried is who your lovely first son, who just got back from their abroad, who you're so proud of, who's a medical doctor, is about to take this girl to their abroad with him, and then, do everything. As a father, do you keep mom and just keep let baby, let sleeping dogs? Like, it was the past. All things are passed away. Behold, things have become new.
I want to believe that men would be able to call their sons aside and say, see, man to man, bros, you know what happens outside. I've been here.
I don't think that is a good thing to do.
No, if I were the man, to the point where your son is saying, see, if you cannot give me any serious reason why this is unacceptable to you, then I'm not listening to anything. I think a father will step up and tell his son.
But if you see, from the mother's perspective, where you've been waiting for this one to get married for donkey years, and suddenly you bring somebody and starts saying story. No, she doesn't want to hear that story.
Spanner into that. Some girls actually zaddied just for a period of time in their life. They're really good girls. And they were under a lot of pressure, and Zaddy was going to pay school fees, and Zaddy was going to help. They are not...
it was a rough patch.
It was a rough patch. It was a period. Yes. And after that, they went back and, like Mommy Gio said, everything has changed in their body. Everywhere changed. They are back to new. And God corrected everything, and now they have met brother that they want to marry. And then, so I feel that
can't you forgive? If God can forgive you, can't you forgive?
But sometimes we just tell that person?
But we need to confirm. The man needs to have a conversation with the girl to be sure babe, are you, who are you now? If it will work in this relationship, we must be open because we cannot ex anybody because of what they've done in their past. People change.
Exactly.
So we was able to give room to that girl.
I'm not exing you, I just can't take it.
Who can't take it? The father or the...
No, the boy.
No, leave the boy. The boy doesn't know. Leave the boy.
No, let's just say that this has happened. She now realizes it, and it was just a short period in my life that this happened. She must have that conversation with the boy. She has to open up.
Confess, yeah.
She has want to confess.
Yes, when she sees the father in the down.
No, let's just say the father even brings it up to him. And then he asks her about it. She should not deny it. She must own up to what she did and then allow the boy to make a choice.
Okay, what if, Mariam, where you are the person, right?
Yeah.
And the father, knowing he wants the happiness of his son, calls the girl, let's have a meeting. Let's thrash it out. She tells him, listen, it happened in the past. You did this for me. I've given my life to Christ. I'm not a child of God. I'm a sister in choir. I met your son in church. We're good to go. And you let sleeping dogs lie. And you move on.
That's the side of the story.
Big mistake.
There's also another side.
That's a big mistake?
Big mistake.
There's also another side where it's not as if the person has given her life to Christ. She's still in the business. And then she lands your son.
No, we don't want that part of it. That kind of
is easier.
Okay, let's stay on this for a second. But let me take this call. It's been holding. Ooh, I think I lost Gloria, I believe. Gloria, are you there? Hello, Gloria, are you there? Hello, Abiori, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear
You're
me?
live. Go ahead, please.
All right, thank you. First of all, I want to say that you people make me proud there.
Thank you.
And from the things I've seen, I think men and women have different roles. Women are more valuable. Men are more potent.
Okay.
And they have different roles. So the way they perceive the world is generally different. Women are closer to the home, and the men are basically appendages of women. So they go and explore other aspects of life. So they are not that tied to the home, hence why you find that they don't engage in this about squabbles. But when you mess with their source of survival, men react. And this is why you get wars. And it's not because they don't have feelings. When we talk about egos, where do you think the egos come from? It comes from feelings, but it's attached to something else. To sustain the whole.
Right. Thank you very much, Abiori. Let me come back to BC. So I'm saying that the girl, so you're saying the girl maybe just she's still in the business.
She's still, yes.
In that kind of situation is almost a no-brainer because you can't still be in the business and I'm going to marry. I'm talking about a girl who has...
People marry from the business now. People marry
and they might still continue.
Yes.
Can they be in the business and marry?
Leave continuing. They are doing the business for the sort of lifestyle that they want. And in the business, they catch somebody that they want to settle with and they settle. They marry from the business.
Yes.
Whether
but
they
then
continue or not is not
to be
our
your
business.
son.
And it now happens to be your son. What if at the time you were zadding her, she was the best? She was giving you the monkey in the shadow things.
Your son.
We have to
You're complicating the matter.
Your son now brings her home, and all you can think of
every time you see
monkey in the shadow.
Monkey in the shadow.
Hey. What do you do?
No,
these are real issues.
Okay, so what are you saying? That a man in that position
should come clean
to both parties.
You're hurting people.
No,
but you just
for the greater good.
Yes.
For the greater good, because if you come clean and say, we have monkeyed in the shadow, and if you still want to continue, that's fine. Just know that this is where I met this person and we've had this. And he decides to allow the love.
Ongoing monkeying in the shadow. It's
No, maybe they have stopped.
monkey in the shadow.
No, you may not even know, because you know women and they can keep like 15 monkeys like that. You may not even know. But as at the time you had this was how it was, you know, and you come clean. It allows the boy to make the decision to, do I want to go ahead?
So full
if
disclosure.
tomorrow
Full disclosure.
it happens that she begins to monkey in the shadow again, your father will see that, but I told you. So you need to make that, the man needs to make that decision.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I was going to say that there is no restitution without confession.
Yeah.
I feel that life can happen to anybody. Some people have done things that they truly regret. They hate, they wish they never see it, but they've done it. So if you find yourself in that situation where you've already crossed some boundaries and it's now going to affect your happiness in the future, do your own confession so you have proper restitution and then you can move on. I think there should be room for that.
But you know, I know something. Let me pause you for a second. I know somebody. I know the story. This person confess to me and somebody, we had a lot of drinks at that back plenty years ago. We had lots of drinks, and the person was talking. And after she finished talking, later she now realized, when we now said just in the morning, I said, so now, wow. I told you that? I said, yeah, please. My husband doesn't know.
Oh, boo.
And till today, as I speak to you, her husband doesn't know. And they are happily married. I know it. I kept my mouth shut. The other person knew it. Because till tomorrow, our husband still doesn't know this thing.
Okay.
So my point is that we make this thing like this Hollywood, full disclosure. Some things are better. I'll just keep it quiet.
Because you're not related to her now. Yeah. She's not coming to marry your son.
Keep it. It's different. It's not different. They don't know. You don't know that. You don't know the story.
Okay.
So sometimes you just keep it quiet for the peace of everybody. Because especially when the woman is not still doing the do. Especially when she's not going back to. What if it's in this
My
situation?
own is not even about how do you know of whatever. It's that whenever it now comes out, then it's afresh. And then it's many years of all the things that happen. It's also the same conversation.
It destroys everything.
It's also the same conversation when we talk about women who the DNA is wrong and the father is not the father. We say it's better to just handle it immediately as soon as you can. Because what happens 20 years down the line, then old people now be saying, I divorce you, I divorce you.
But the thing is, I think women should just be smart. When you walk into that situation and you see that you have zaddy daddy, you have zaddy boy, just pack your
bag and leave. I don't like you anymore. The way
but
your hair is going
we have to wrap up.
guys.
Back to the previous story of men and women, mother-in-laws and father-in-laws handling situations. I think that just as we as children, as parents, I appreciate the sacrifice my mother has made to nurture my children. I think that it's very important that grandfathers also take their role serious because they have impact in the life of their grandchildren. Don't just think that, oh, my wife is doing it, it's okay. Because you don't want to be in that situation. Okay. You have impact on your grandchildren.
On YouTube, some people are fighting each other. I don't know why. Yes, but some other persons are asking that I explain what monkey means. You have to get the BC dictionary to do it.
StarTimes says, never regret my action for leaving Nigeria. I bagged also building a company. If I stayed in Nigeria, I would be begging for crumbs from Chief, Alaji, etc. And somebody says, I prioritize the communal life I live in Nigeria and place it above all the riches in the world. I can't live in a country where I hardly know who the next man is despite living in the next flat. Sees it as odd if I greet him in the morning, etc. Another person is talking about not looking down on jobs because that caller said he started as a cleaner. If you start as a cleaner in Nigeria, you might die as a cleaner. You hardly grow in Nigeria.
That's all we can take on the show today. Thank you very much, ladies. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.